Okay, let's go through now. Which page? Sorry? 97. Okay. Okay, 97. Yes. Manifest the definition of positive phenomena. So positive and negative phenomena are just the same. We read it all together. We read it, we already read it. The definition of a manifest phenomena is an object. Okay, yeah. This is also quite important. It's actually, the author, Kunjin Jingme Ongbo, he did a marvelous job. He's able to include all the complex issues, in just a few words. Of course, it's quite challenging for us, but also we are getting a lot of share from, the Buddhist philosophy. So this is the manifest phenomena and the hidden phenomena. This is also a very important topic that we need to know. Otherwise, because of not being informed of this topic, then we tend to fall prey to many of misconceptions that I'll explain to you later. Say again, there are various ways of classifying phenomena or existence, right? One of the ways we did is in terms of the two truths. Anything which exists either should fall in the category of ultimate truth or in conventional truth, or it can be classified in the form of permanent and impermanent phenomena, because you cannot really point to anything which exists not falling to either of these two categories. And also you can classify phenomena, whole phenomena, into specifically characterized phenomena and generally characterized phenomena, right? Now, the point that we are discussing here is the phenomena divided into two categories in terms of hidden phenomena and evident, or manifest. So I've been always saying evident, manifest. I would say instead of manifest, I would go for evident. The word evident. That is that I feel is better. Evident phenomena and hidden phenomena. So you may wonder as to what is the meaning of these two or what it really means. Say, if I ask you to would you mind giving me a cup of tea or a cup of water? Then you say, oh, it's right there on the table, and then I look at it and then I see it, right? So a cup of tea or cup of water is something. When he told me that it's right on the table, I looked at it, and then the understanding that there is a cup of tea on the table is so spontaneous, is so automatic, which means that I didn't really use any logic or reason to say that, to convince myself that, oh, there's a cup of tea on the table, which means that as soon as it comes in contact with our direct perception, the object is understood. So those phenomena, the understanding of which doesn't require reasoning. Let me say it again. Those objects or those phenomena whose understanding doesn't require any reasoning is referred to as evident phenomena. Evident meaning so evident that you don't need any reason to inform you or to convince you of the existence of that phenomena or the mode of the existence of that phenomena, right? So simply through one's own direct understanding, immediate understanding, you get the whole information about that object. For example, the cup of tea or the table. What about tree? What is that? Evident or are you sure? What about fire? Evident. So you don't need to work out with the help of any reasons? Are you sure? Oh, I see. There's fire. There must be fire over there because I can see smoke. Sorry? So that is hidden. So it is, so there the fire is not evident. It's hidden. Right? The fire over there, is it hidden or evident phenomena? Are you sure? So what about that person? It is not hidden, it is evident because it is what is so clearly seen without any reasoning by the one who is lighting the fire over there. So what is that? Is it hidden or good? For them, for the person who is close to the fire is evident. Whereas for us, who cannot see the fire directly, who simply understands the existence of the fire there through perceiving or inferring the existence of that fire through the smoke, for these people it is hidden, right? So we see that there is one category of phenomena known as evident phenomena. And yet there are some other things like emptiness, So today I'm going to distribute each one of you, two emptinesses each. It doesn't make any sense, So then, how can you really get access to emptiness? Is this something that sound gives you? No. So how do you do that? Only through reasoning, right? So therefore, the class of phenomena whose understanding should necessarily be through reasoning is hidden phenomena, right? Okay. So we have the evident phenomena and hidden phenomena. Within hidden phenomena, again, we see, the impermanence. Is this something which is so evident to us? The subtle impermanence? No. But, by means of one's own reasoning, one's own reflection, you think that you can understand it? Yes, of course, yes. So there's one class of, now we are trying to touch only the hidden phenomena. Within the domain of the hidden phenomena, we see that there is one category which can be understood through pure reasoning, like impermanence and, emptiness and so forth. And whereas, if you ask about when is your birthday, Alec, I think your birthday is tomorrow or day after tomorrow? Or 19th. So, are you sure that your birthday is on 19th? Yes, of course. Don't say no. He's about to say no, with a fear that I might put him in trouble. Okay. Now that inferred trouble? Yeah. Okay. So how do you know that your birthday is 19th? How do you know that? Did you see yourself? Sorry? No, he wants to really contend with me. I want to contend back. I'm quite tough. So, how do you know that you're born on that day? I see. Your mother is the most reliable person on this earth. More than Buddha. So there is some weakness there. right? So why do you consider that weakness in the case of your mother being a reliable person? Why don't you include that weakness? Instead, you say that she's so reliable.
She's reliable with respect to my birthday.
I see. So I'm not saying that your mother is insane, but say there's insane person at the time, insane nurse who's working, helping your mother that day. So is she also reliable?
No,
because she's also there. Okay, look. So, therefore, there's one class of hidden phenomena, like impermanence, emptiness, and these things, where you can simply get to the understanding through pure reasoning, not necessarily depending on the testimony, on the words of someone else. Meaning, by having to rely on a very reliable person. You can simply work, you simply get the information and then simply try to work that on your own. And then see, as you know, whether things truly exist, whether things, the functional things, such as the self and others, the objects of attraction, the objects of aversion, they truly undergo momentary change. So, through pure reasoning, without really saying that, without having to say that, the objects of attachment, the objects of aversion, they are disintegrating moment to moment because the Buddha said so. You don't have to really quote Buddha. So what you do is you borrow the insight and the knowledge and the reasonings from the Buddha. You apply that and test it yourself to see if what the Buddha said is correct by using your own pure reasoning. So those things, those hidden phenomena, which we can understand through using pure reasoning, is the slightly hidden phenomena. So in short, hidden phenomena can be classified into two: slightly hidden phenomena and completely hidden phenomena, or completely obscured phenomena. Slightly obscured or hidden, and completely obscured or hidden, right? So whereas your birthday, at least to you, for your mother, it is not absolutely hidden, it is so evident. She just saw it directly, Whereas to you, it is absolutely hidden. Meaning, there is no way by which you can use any kind of pure reasonings to prove that you were born on 19th of what? September, right? Right? So, the only way by which you understand that you're born on that day is because someone said so. There is no reason, there's no pure reason. It is simply by reliance on a very authoritative person. Because if you say that it's my mother who told me, and my mother at that time was, has a sound mind, then we can quite say that, right? We can say that we can rely on what she said, because it's not talking about the emptiness of you. Because whereas if I ask about, the emptiness of your birthday, or it is the emptiness of 19th of September, how do you know this? My birthday, the emptiness of my birthday, on 19th of September, is what I was told by my mother. Even your mother doesn't know that, emptiness nature of that. But I'm not saying, exactly, I don't know how the understanding of your mother's on emptiness. Say if it's not, right? So whereas whereas she is authoritative to tell you about your birthday, but not authoritative to tell you about emptiness of your birthday and these things, right? So whereas the peasant, they have the authority to tell you as to how the plants grow, how the crops grow. And similarly, the shepherds, they know how the cattle, about the cattle so well. And architects, they know so well. They have the authority to instruct you on the architecture and these things. But they don't have the authority to tell you about the cattle. Right? So similarly, with regard to your birthday, your mother has the authority, provided she is sane that time. Right? So this means that we rely on someone else. We rely on someone else rather than, someone else's word, rather than your own using of your own, pure reasoning. So those things whose understanding cannot be done through pure reasoning, instead, has to rely on an authoritative person, is what is known as absolutely hidden phenomena, absolutely obscure phenomena. Now this is a broad understanding of, slightly obscure phenomena and completely obscure phenomena, right? So now let's read. The definition of manifest phenomena is an object that is explicitly realized by a direct prime cognition. What does it mean? I see. So there's whole debate here. Okay. So now, without myself defining it in a different way, let us see. But of course, I don't mean to say that what is written here is wrong. Absolutely, the author, in terms of scholarly knowledge, can be, my knowledge multiplied by millions of times would be his knowledge, right? So what I mean to say is that there are different ways of defining it. So because of, depending on how you define, then the whole body of that topic or the structure of the topic, you have to reformat it, right? Okay, so what you're getting so far is according to the definition of the manifest and the hidden phenomena according to the system that we follow in my monastic college, right? So, right, now we are going to read this from the system of the other college, right? Okay, so let's see. The definition of a manifest, first we need to, according to this, we need to know what direct prime cognition is. So direct prime cognition, last time, all other schools, all Buddhist schools other than Prasangika, their ways of defining first prime cognition and then direct prime cognition. So the prime cognition, the way it is defined, is unanimous in terms of all Buddhist schools other than Prasangika. Prasangika define it slightly differently, the prime cognition. So the rest of the schools, they define in one way. So how do they define it? The prime cognition is the new cognition, the first moment of the cognition, or the new cognition, which means, this is actually what I have already explained to you earlier, so now it's becoming clearer. Say the computer, the computer is first created 40 years ago. I don't know when it is created, say 40 years ago. So the first person, the person who invented the idea of computer, so he has his own knowledge of computer. So now after 40 years, there are several thousands of people who has this knowledge. So if so they are both equal in having the knowledge of computer. But of these two, which, who do you think is more intelligent in terms of computer? The person who first invented it, or all these thousands of people who know about computer nowadays? The first one, right? So what about, in terms of knowledge, it's just the same. Why do you say that the first person, he is more intelligent than all these thousands of people who know about computer nowadays? Because, very simple, it is for a very simple reason that because all those thousands of people who know about the computer nowadays, their knowledge is simply imitation from him. And whereas his knowledge is something so original, right? So to get the original knowledge requires tremendous intelligence. But simply imitate is what most of the people can do, right? Okay. So similarly, in terms of say you try to reflect on impermanence of the self, which forms a part of the four seals of the Buddha's teaching, right? You reflect on that. So then all of a sudden, you get a very clear insight, moving experience of how you are, you're transitory, you are changing moment by moment, the first moment of your experience of that. And then that will be followed by the second moment, third moment, fourth moment, so forth. So you say you have, that experience lasts for 10 moments. Of these, the first moment, which, of these 10 different moments, which do you think you found it hardest to gain the experience? The first one, So therefore, just as, all those people who are involved in having the understanding of the computer, how computer works, we say that the first person is the most intelligent one. Similarly, of these 10 moments, the first one gets the credit, of having first found what impermanence means, right? So therefore, this first moment of the cognition, the understanding, is known as the prime cognition, the most important. So prime in Sanskrit, it is pra, and pra can be understood in different ways. It can mean the first. It can mean the most important or the prime, right? So all other schools other than Prasangika, all Buddhist schools other than Prasangika, they interpret this word pra in the form of first. And it is only Prasangika who interpreted it in the form of prime. So unfortunately, translated it as prime cognition. Actually, it should be, translated as the original cognition, according to the lower schools. Original, meaning the first cognition, right? So then what about the second moment, third moment, fourth moment, and so forth? Their understanding of impermanence is similar to the first moment's understanding of impermanence. So why not the second moment downwards? They are called as the prime cognition or the original cognition. Why? Why not? Because they imitate it from the first moment, right? So then, what would be the term that would you use for those the second moment and down? Subsequent cognition. Very good. Prime cognition and subsequent cognition. Or actually, better would be in English for lower schools would be prime cognition. Original cognition and the subsequent cognition. And prime cognition would be better in sort of Prasangika Madhyamika perspective, because they translate it as prime cognition. So where they are not so concerned about whether you cognize it for the first time or you simply imitate. So they are more concerned about whether you really get the prime object. If you get the prime object correctly, then you are called as the prime cognizer, right? So the prime or original Prasangika school, they are not concerned about whether you are the first one to do it or second one to do it like that. They are more concerned about the object. So out of different objects, the prime object and secondary object like that, if you get the prime object correctly, then you are called as the prime cognizer from the point of view of prasangika. So that if you get time to do it, it'll come as we go. Okay, so but it's not just this translator. Most of the translators, they translate it as prime cognition. So let us go it this way. But in your mind, you have to interpret it as original cognition, meaning the first cognition. Right? Okay, so it says, then direct, as we did earlier. So this prime cognition can be of two kinds, Say you reflect on impermanence, then all of a sudden, it clicked. You have the experience of impermanence. Is that something directly experienced or through reasoning? Through reasoning, which means those understandings that come in you through reasonings are referred to as inferential cognition. Inferential cognition. So within that, the first of that inferential cognition is known as inferential prime cognition. Right? And the second moment down are referred to as inferential subsequent cognition. Right? So whereas you could look at a flower on the table, so it needs no reasoning to come to this understanding. Right? What is this understanding? Direct perception. Right? Direct perception. So the first moment, and this direct perception has many moments. First moment, second moment, and so forth. So the first moment, what do you call it? Direct? Direct? Original cognition or prime cognition. Then what about the second moments downwards? Direct, subsequent cognitions. Good. So now let's read. The definition of a manifest phenomena is an object that is explicitly realized by direct prime cognition. Right? Explicitly means directly. Directly. Understood by a direct prime cognition. So since that seems like, there are two traditions getting mixed, the tradition from my college and the tradition from the college of the author, they are getting mixed. So it's in your hand, to go either way. So now let me tell you, can you give me an example of manifest phenomena, manifest or evident phenomena? The flower on the table. The flower on the table, is it a manifest phenomena? Yes. Can you give me an instance of, non-manifest phenomena? Something which is not manifest phenomena.
The sun outside that I can see.
I see. The sun outside that you cannot see. Is that non-manifest? Are you sure? I see. Sorry? Is it or is it not? So those who said no, let's group together and attack Alec. So how many of you would support me? The sun outside, which Alec is not seeing right now. Is it non-manifest? Manifest. Okay, so let's all attack him. Okay, so the question would be, so just help me if I'm getting so weak. Say, isn't it a manifest object? No. That is a manifest object because it qualifies the definition of manifest object. No. Because it is what? Help me. It is an object that is explicitly realized by direct prime cognition. No. Okay. So that is explicitly what? Realized by direct prime cognition, because that is explicitly realized by direct prime cognition of someone sitting outside. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. So this means that the sun outside that you are not seeing right now, So that is an object that is explicitly realized by direct prime cognition. No, that is because that is explicitly realized by a direct prime cognition of someone sitting outside.
Yeah.
This means that, when you say it is explicitly directly realized by, direct prime cognition, it should not be your cognition.
Yeah,
That's correct. Which means that that object of discussion, it qualifies the definition of the manifest phenomena. What not?
because the object that is realized by a direct sound cognition, you posit it as being realized by someone outside.
Yeah.
The object that I said is the one that I do not see, and it is an object.
I see. That's different object.
Yeah, the object that they see and the object that I see, that I don't see,
Yeah,
they're the same.
I see. They are different. Are they different?
Absolutely.
Okay. So since they are different, that is not seen by them.
Sorry. Since it is different, it is not seen by the
Them, yeah. What they see is not something you are talking about.
No. They don't see the object that I don't see.
Good. They don't see the object that you don't see.
Yeah.
So any object that you don't see should necessarily not seen by others.
Not necessarily.
Good. So what is that? The sun outside
The sun outside.
that you don't see.
It is an object which is explicitly realized by infinite cognition. By the reason that I see the sun.
Okay, good. So, but simply by seeing the sun rays, you are not seeing the sun directly.
No.
So you are not realizing the sun explicitly.
No. Well, I am seeing the object explicitly by means of infinite cognition.
I'm not talking about inferential, it is direct. Direct prime cognition.
No, but I'm not seeing it very
Good. So what you're not seeing is, is someone else is seeing.
Say that one more time, please.
What you are not seeing,
But I'm not seeing it.
the sun, is what someone else is seeing.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I see. So there are two suns.
Yeah.
Yes, I see. In the solar system, there are 10 suns. Unfortunately, what I've learned is just one sun and 9 planets.
No.
What no?
Because there's only.
Okay, now to be straightforward, to be direct, my question is, the sun outside which you are not seeing, is it explicitly realized by direct prime cognition or not? No, it should be, because it is explicitly realized by direct cognition of someone else. It is explicitly realized by direct prime cognition of the worker there, the builder. The direct prime cognition, should it necessarily be your direct prime cognition? No. Someone else, if someone else's direct prime cognition can see that, it fulfills. It suffices a direct prime cognition seeing it. Right? If that is, then the sun outside that you are not seeing is explicitly realized by direct prime cognition. In which case, it should be a manifest phenomena. Right?
No.
Well, no.
I can't go back.
No. The thing is that, if you say that the piece if you say that you are not a human being, and at the same time you say that any person in this room should necessarily be a human being, then you have to say that, what about you? Are you a person in this room? You say yes. Are you a human being? You say no. You should be, because you are a person in this room, and you accept that any person in this room should necessarily be a human being. So then you relinquish your original standpoint. So I give up. You have to say that. Yeah, you have to say that. This is how logic works, right? So what would be your example of non-manifest phenomena?
Rabbit's horn. A rabbit's horn.
I see. Wonderful. Rabbit's horn. Where is it?
It's not manifest.
Is it existent or not?
It's existent.
Is it existent?
Yes, there can be
No, is it existent?
What's your definition of existence?
That you've already learned.
Too much learning.
No. So those things which even the ordinary people can understand, you don't have to learn it again. It exists. I say elephant in this house, it exists.
Yes.
Last time you said it doesn't exist.
It's not manifest.
No, I'm not talking about manifest. I'm simply asking if that is existing.
There's no elephant in
So what about those people, you ask, those people who's the peasants, you ask them, oh, I heard that, in your farm, there are golden apples, the apples made of gold, growing. Is it existent? What will they say?
No.
No, they are non-existent.
Apples growing in their farm.
Yeah.
Like golden apples growing in their farm are not existent. The golden apples can be known by mind.
No, my question is, the apple made of gold, is there something growing in, America?
No.
No, it's not found. It's not existent.
Not existent? It's different from not.
No, this is my question. Is it existent?
Yes.
You still say it is existent.
If it wasn't existent, how would
You simply ask the shopkeepers, if they have, a medicine to give enlightenment. What will they say? Oh, I don't have that. It is non-existent. They'll say it.
But they aren't.
And if you say that it exists, they will say that you are insane. So by studying philosophy, you don't become insane. Always try to conform to the, to the ordinary conventional norms. Don't try to go beyond that. And don't try to think that you're intelligent.
If it didn't exist,
So just tell me. So what can you think of, a non-manifest phenomena? Anyone?
Non-born baby.
Non-born baby. Is it existent or not?
No, that's fine.
Is it existent or not existent? Existent? Existent. Where's it? Okay, so this means it is not non-manifest phenomena.
sorry, that's a good question. You say non-manifest, you get it, right?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm simply asking. So simply don't try to think of, don't try to simply infer or, what I mean. So I simply use the word and make sure that you get the meaning out of it, and accordingly you should be able to follow. So what would be the example? There's no?
What would you point to as a functioning thing that wasn't manifest?
Karma? Manifest, non-manifest? Non-manifest? Subtle workings of karma. Subtle workings of karma, which is beyond our, understanding. That's quite good. Bodhicitta, I think this is a better example. Subtle workings of the karma, workings of the subtle karmas.
Wouldn't it have to be a non-functioning thing? Manifest and functioning thing are mutually inclusive.
Where is that?
Right here cited in
Verse 99.
verse 99. Manifest
Page 99.
functioning thing are
Function things are mutually inclusive. Good. Karma is function thing, impermanent.
then how could it be
What?
manifest?
What is that? A manifest phenomena. Oh, yeah. It is not. So then, it should be, so now it is actually the work of Venerable Chunyila and the helpers to prove that it is non-manifest. So, anyone who is saying that this is manifest? The subtle workings of the karma. I see, look. Now let's attack. So, is that not manifest?
No.
Is that manifest? Okay. that is not manifest because it doesn't fulfill the definition of manifest phenomena.
It's not manifest because of prime.
Exactly, it's not realized, explicitly realized by direct prime cognition.
The Buddha doesn't know karma?
Good point. So no. So your job is to say it is, when we said that the subtle workings of the karma is non-manifest because it is not realized, explicitly realized by the direct, by what? By direct prime cognition. Then you say, I don't agree. You say that. Yeah, which means that, it doesn't qualify that. So this means that it doesn't qualify the reason that we put. You disagree with the reason that we put. Now when you say disagree, then we have to try to convince you to agree with us. So we say that is that explicitly realized by a direct prime cognition? Okay, so what is that direct prime cognition which explicitly realizes it? Good. This is how the logic works.
You can't just be,
Good.
can't do it just quick and easy.
Now the question is, good. Now this is not the end.
Okay. You have
If so up to this point you are very successful. Now let's see how it works further. So if the mind of the Buddha understands something directly, is it the case that that object should be realized by direct prime cognition? Yes. So can you think, isn't there any non-manifest phenomena? Because everything should necessarily be directly realized by the Buddha's prime cognition.
every phenomenon.
Yeah. So there's no non-manifest phenomena.
No.
No, yes. No.
Not
So this means that what about the non-functional things? Non-functional phenomena. The permanent phenomena. The permanent phenomena, are they manifest or non-manifest?
They don't function?
No. Are they manifest or non-manifest? This is my question.
They're not.
They are manifest. They are functional things or non-functional things?
They're functional things.
Functional things. They are not functional things because they are permanent. Because they are not impermanent.
So they
Because
have-
impermanent phenomena and functional things, these two are mutually inclusive. This is what is said in this text.
It says you, but to any normal person, they would
No. I'm citing this. I'm citing this text. You have to, if you
what the world do now.
no. So your job, the answerer's job, is to hold on to, take this text so precious. Don't let it simply, throw it in the dumps.
But I can't just contradict with
No. Hold on. Try to hold on this and then see how to reconcile with the worldly norms. First, this is the priority, and then reconcile with the worldly norms. Yeah. So, according to this text, non-functional things and permanent phenomena, these two are mutually inclusive. So the permanent phenomena, is it manifest phenomena?
Yeah.
Yes. It is not manifest phenomena because it is not functional things. Because functional things and manifest phenomena, these two are mutually inclusive. Right? So isn't it manifest phenomena? You have to say no. So if it is not manifest phenomena, it is because it is an object that is explicitly realized by direct prime cognition. If you say no, it is because it is, explicitly realized by the direct prime cognition of the Buddha. This is your point. Okay, let's go further. The definition of a hidden phenomena is an object that is explicitly realized by an inferential prime cognition. Hidden phenomena and an object of knowledge are mutually inclusive. Okay, so let's go further. 3 times. The definition of a pastness, the pastness or the past of an object, is that state of destructedness which exists, or disintegratedness, which exists in the next period after the time of an object. The object being a functional thing that is other than its own pastness. Okay, the definition of futureness of the object is that state of a non-production of a functional thing, which is other than its future, in some time and place due to non-completion of subsidiary causes, although the main cause for its production is present. The definition of present object is that which has been produced and has not ceased. Our pastness and the futureness are both permanent because they are mere absences and do not undergo momentary change. Present object and function thing are mutually inclusive. Moreover, these features should be known. The pastness of a thing occurs after that thing. The futureness of a thing occurs prior to that thing. Okay, so let me first define it in a more, the spoken language. Say, the past is defined as something which is produced and ceased. Something which is produced and yet ceased. This is past. And the future is something which is yet to be given rise to. And the present is something which is given rise to and yet to cease. Which is produced and yet to cease. That's a very simple way of defining it 3 times. Past, how do you define it? Something which is produced and ceased. Future, something which is yet to be arisen. And present. Good. So now let's see how it is defined here. The definition of pastness or the past of an object is that state of destructiveness which exists in the next period after the time of an object. Okay, let us do it this way. This tissue, you have this tissue, right? The present. This is produced and yet to cease. Let's call it the complete tissue. The complete tissue. I break into 2, right? So what happened to now is second moment. Now is the second moment. So is there the complete tissue? No. So what is left? It is the destructiveness or the disintegratedness of the previous tissue, right? But don't point to these 2 as the disintegratedness, So the past, what is that? Where is the past complete tissue? Tissue A. So now, simply in the form of memory. Simply in the form of memory. And now you can, at the most, these 2 are totally different from the original tissue A, right? It's totally different from tissue A. So what we have is simply in the form of memory. And also, at the most, what we can say is that, it is already destroyed. It is already disintegrated, So we can simply mentally think about the disintegratedness of the tissue A, right? And what you have now is 2 different things, right? Okay, so that comes to your mind as the disintegratedness of tissue A is what is known as the pastness of tissue A, right? Okay, so now next, I'm not good at making, flowers and birds out of tissue, right? Say, is there any paper bird here? No, right? So what you're going to do is that out of this paper, the next moment I'm going to create a bird. Not a real bird, but a paper bird, right? So the paper bird, is it yet arisen? No, not yet arisen, right? So the paper bird is actually the future, right? So let's see how it is defined here. First, the definition of pastness of an object is that state of destructiveness which exists in the next period, right? Next period meaning, does the destructiveness or the disintegratedness of tissue A exist at the time of tissue A? No. So the disintegratedness of tissue A simply follows tissue A, right? So which means that exists in the next period of tissue A. Next period after the time of an object, tissue A. Object being a functional thing, meaning the object should be a functional thing. We don't think about the permanent phenomena, right? The functional thing or impermanent phenomena which undergoes change, or there's a destructiveness, and then at that moment there is the pastness of the object. Because then the second moment when we think about now the tissue A is lost, so there the tissue A is no more there. So when you think about tissue A, we have to simply go in the memory, in the past by means of memory, So what is there? What is really left here is the destructiveness or the disintegratedness of tissue A. So this is the pastness of that tissue, right? So now definition of fusionness of an object is that state of a non-production of a functional thing. So say the bird, the bird of a tissue paper, so which is yet to arise. A state of a non-production is yet to be produced. Non-production of a functional thing, which is other than its future, which is other in some time and place. Which is other, meaning what we have right now is what? Just the tissue, which is not formed formed as a bird, right? So this is other than what is going to be produced as a bird. You agree? This is not a paper bird. And a paper bird is what you're going to produce sometimes later, tomorrow, right? So that paper bird and the tissue paper right now that is in my hand, these two are different, right? So, in some time and place, due to non-completion of subsidiary courses. So why is it that this paper is yet to be produced in the form of paper bird? Because the courses are not complete, right? So, because of non-completion of subsidiary courses, although the main cause for its production is present. So the main cause is the paper, is there, but someone should be there to create it. So it is not there. So because of lacking the subsidiary courses, although the main cause is there, because of the lacking of the subsidiary courses, we don't have that object arising. So this state of the non-production, can you think of, the paper bird? You may be, curious as to how he's going to, make a paper bird. Beautiful one or ugly one, unattractive one, right? Unattractive. So we don't know. You're so curious of. So which means that you are in your mind. You are creating something which is not yet produced. So that non-production. You know that it is not. Is it produced or not yet produced? Not yet produced. Not yet produced. Non-production of that object now, is it existent or non-existent? The non-production of the paper bird, is it existent or non-existent? It is existent. So this is what is known as the fusionness of this bird, the bird paper bird. Yes.
So suddenly you have to sneeze, you blow your nose, and now the future object is in garbage, not a bird.
Oh, you're right. So in that case, let's say anyone who uses this for blowing your nose, you're going to be fined $1,000, right? So you're going to use something else. This is going to be reserved for making a paper bird.
But the intention for the object doesn't have anything to do with the intention.
What? Intention? No, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
So
matter.
say,
It doesn't matter.
yeah.
Every garbage is
So this is quite right. You're quite right. I quite agree with you, because this can be used in any way, in all different ways. then what about, tomorrow's you? No one can stop you from becoming tomorrow's you, right?
But nobody knows what it is.
But it is existent. You don't know where it is. It's going to be whether in the Sravasti Abbey or in the Trishita realm, we don't know. But it is there. It is existent. But it is yet to be produced. It is the non-production of tomorrow's, Venerable Chunyi, right, is existent. So that is the futureness of, Venerable Chunyi. Okay, the definition of a present object. Okay, it's all 12. We are done with that. The definition of a present object is that which has been produced and has not ceased. That's quite, acceptable. For this, for example, this paper, or this mug is already produced and not yet ceased. Present. The pastness and the futureness are both permanent because they are mere absences and do not undergo momentary change. So again, debate, So actually, I would encourage you to do a little bit of debating here and there, because that way, it will keep your mind, it will train your mind to work it so quickly. So meditation requires a very, very quick mind, precise mind, clear mind, and alert mind. So the quickness is one of the basic requirements for a successful meditation. So to give you an example, to convince you of this fact, the Bodhisattvas, they train the mind in such a way that they are what is known as, 173 topics of meditation. So the Bodhisattvas, how do they train about? Is that first they meditate on the first topic, say for, whole 2 days or whole, 3 days like that. And then switch on to the next topic for next 2-3 days like that. Provided you already have the understanding of emptiness, impermanence, all these things, right? And then you try to shorten the length of the time of the meditation of each of these topics. So then say you are quite successful, and then in just one go of the meditation, you spend, 1 minute in the first topic, and the second minute in the second topic like that, right? And then still you shorten it. 1 second, the first topic, immediately you should be able to switch on to the next topic. And then 1 second, so how many seconds? 173 seconds. Then you have to still shorten that. A millisecond. In the first topic, you have to be able to switch that to the next topic so quickly, like that. To the extent, so this is how you, gradually achieve the state of Buddhahood. So the Buddhahood is a state where you're not to take time to, understand one object, the subsequently the next object like that. Instantly you have to understand everything. Similarly, so in order to get to that realization, the Bodhisattvas, what they do is they try to, shorten the time of their understanding the objects, all objects, and then gradually what happened? Then it will become simultaneous, right? Yeah. So what happens is that the Bodhisattvas, at one point, they train it to such an extent that, just imagine, what is this time? A time of a snap, right? So divide that into, there are 2 ways of dividing that. Just this snap of time, even less than a second. Divide that into 65. In just one part of that, one of the 65th, division of that period of the snap, within that period, you should be able to realize all 173 topics, not just in, in any manner you want to do, in a proper sequence. So this requires quickness, right? So it's not just a passive meditation, You simply do meditation. Of course, meditation is so good. Simply do a meditation, so without any alertness, without any sharpness, precision, clarity, quickness. So the quickness is one of the very important aspects of the meditation, So here, say you meditate on impermanence, Simply switch on to emptiness. Again, come back to impermanence, So say, how about this one? Say, do you think that 80 years old, old man, do you think that he can be kind of quick enough to chase a small boy of 10 years old? So he goes like this. By the time, he goes there, the boy is already at the back. So our negative emotions, they are so quick. And the counterforce, the negative emotions, they are trained so well to the extent of, like a small kid who can just go quick here and there, just in a few seconds, do like that. So whereas the counterforce is so weak, you can hardly go, first of all, Once you get there, the negative emotion is already laughing at you from the back. Behind you, laughing at you. And again you turn, by the time you turn, he's already, the other side. Right? So therefore, similarly, just as our negative emotions, they are so active, they are so quick in the movement, the counter forces, the wisdom side as well, we should make it so quick. So the quickness is, very important part of the meditation. So for that, we need to train. So it doesn't mean that, you spend your meditation time for this debate. I don't want you to do that. So what you're doing in itself is, I really appreciate, is so important, So this forms almost like the backbone of our practice. But at the same time, the quickness and the sharpness and alertness, the precision, gives a quality to your meditation. So how to do that is during your casual, when you're there during the lunch. So when you are in this period, when the bell is gone, when the bell rings, then you can speak. Then you can just do a little bit of debate, So say you form 2 groups. Don't form 3-4 groups. Just 2 groups, Need not necessarily, you should be on this side. Not like that. Just someone open the debate, and then see, who agrees with this first person, who do not. And so naturally, there's going to be two groups, And then somehow, if you think that, the other person's view is better than mine, then you can switch on. You can change, So that way, just see. So as defined here, what is past, what is the future, what is present. So according to what is said here, it says that, but one thing that you have to keep in mind is that you should be so clear, is what is said in the text. It should be so clear in your mind. And then when you're citing the text, make sure that you don't cite it wrongly. Then the whole debate is going to lose its flavor. Make sure that what you cite is really there in the text, right? So what is said here is that the pastness and the futureness are both permanent, right? Because they are mere absences and do not undergo momentary change. Present object and functioning thing are mutually inclusive. Okay, so by keeping these points in your mind, then we debate. Say, is everything which is permanent, the pastness, the past and future, should they necessarily be what? Permanent? Yes. What about George Washington? Is he past or is he present or future? He's past. He's not present. He's permanent. He's not human being. Is he a human being or not? He's the president of USA. He was the first president. He's the first president of USA. It is only human beings who can be the president of USA, not the dogs. Right? So he's a human being.
No.
He's not a human being because he's the president.
Yeah. Well, he's not.
He was the first president. Anyone who is anyone, so all along the line of the presidentship, we only see human beings, not dogs. Right? So he should be a human being. Because he's in the line of this presidentship. No. See, my debate is that he should be a human being because he's in the line of this, presidentship of USA, and which you said that anyone who is in the line of this presidentship should necessarily be a human being, not a dog. Right? So he's a human being. He's in this line. So because he's in this line, he should be a human being.
Not necessarily.
Okay, good. So this is how the debate goes. So this means even a dog can be in this line. Why not? Good. So this means your internal contradiction. So you're going to say that anyone who is in this line should be a human being. You agree? Don't say no. Yes, are you sure? 100%. Not 99%. Okay. So George Washington, he's a human being. He's not a human being. He's not born from mother. He was born from mother. So this must be human being.
Not necessarily.
He has, he has someone, the daughters or whatever in his lineage. Family, his family is now.
Yes.
Right? So this means, was he born as a human being or what? He's born as a human being. Right? So is he a human being or not? He's not a human being. What is he?
He's a passionate his human being.
Is he a living being?
No.
Not a living being. I see. So this means that, you're not going to become Buddha eventually. Of course, you have Buddha nature.
Yeah.
So one day you're going to become Buddha.
When?
One day in future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You're going to become Buddha.
Yeah.
So at one point, you will become Buddha.
Yeah.
Similarly, at one point, George Bush will become Buddha.
Yeah.
George Washington. He's going to become Buddha. He's going to become Buddha or not? One day he's going to become Buddha. All sentient beings. Is he a sentient being? George Washington.
No.
I see. He's not dead. He's dead.
He's retreating.
He's giving you all the clues.
He's dead.
Yeah.
He's non-existent. He's non-existent. He's past.
Yeah.
He's permanent.
Yeah.
He's existent. Because it's permanent. So anything which is permanent should be existent.
Yes.
Because existence has two, permanent, impermanent. His name is permanent. He's not permanent. He's not permanent.
He's not permanent.
He's not permanent. He's not past.
He is permanent.
He's past. Anything which is past should be permanent.
Yeah, right.
So he's permanent.
No.
Because he's past.
He has pastness,
Oh, he's not past.
destructiveness,
He's not past.
Oh, it's
He's not past.
non-existence.
He's not existent.
Yes.
I see.
His past exists. His pastness, his destructiveness exists.
I see.
But he
His
no
fame is still alive.
Just like the
No.
no longer-
His fame is still alive. Right? Okay. The elephant in this house, does it has any fame? Does it eat food? No, why not? It's not existent. And it has no fame. Why? It is not existent. The George Washington, his fame is not alive.
No,
I disagree.
I disagree.
Okay.
Just because you have fame doesn't mean you exist.
No, okay.
Because there's a fame.
Okay, so why not the elephant in this house has a fame?
It never existed.
Has never existed. Oh, very good. Oh. I should retreat now. Never existed. Okay, so yesterday, is it existent?
No.
It's not existent. I see. You didn't do anything yesterday. Okay. So. Okay. So. Present object and functioning thing are mutually inclusive. This is one point that you have to know. You have to be able to have as a background to cite. And moreover, these features should be known. The pastness of a thing occurs after that thing. The futureness of a thing occurs prior to that thing. Now look. I don't know whether this is the answer, but this is one important thing that we should keep in mind. The pastness of a thing occurs after that thing. For example, I told you tissue A that existed, a few minutes ago. So now when we speak about the destructiveness of tissue A, we can speak about it. The destructiveness of tissue A exists now. Is no more, Okay, so the destructiveness of tissue A, did it precede tissue A or it followed tissue A? Followed. So therefore it says the pastness of a thing, which means the destructiveness of tissue A, occurs after tissue A, after that thing, and the futureness of a thing occurs prior to that thing, which means that the paper bird, which I'm still yet to make, so that the futureness, is it future? The paper bird, say we are going to make it tomorrow. Say it's future. The non-production of the paper bird, is it existent now?
Non-production.
It exists now, right? It is now. So which exists first? The non-production of the paper bird or the paper bird? Okay, so it means that the futureness of that object should precede that object. Okay. Okay, we stop here for this morning. And your job to make sure that you have these small bit of the things which says these are mutually inclusive. You keep those things in your mind. Make sure that you cite a code exactly verbatim. Yep. No, because it says they are permanent. And from what we have earlier, permanent phenomena and non-functioning phenomena, these two are mutually inclusive. So everything is, what we studied earlier and was following, they are all connected to one another. So it's not something that is the new chapter. It's the new chapter like that. It's like a continuation.
Silly question to have. But does the non-production of the paper bird exist now?
Yes.
So it is arisen but has not yet ceased.
Sorry?
It has arisen but has not yet ceased.
Which one?
The non-production of the paper bird. Has it arisen and not yet ceased? Is it present?
It's not present.
Oh, so it hasn't arisen?
It will never arise.
It will never arise.
They say it'll never be produced. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So this has to do.
Yeah. Okay, we stop here.